By the end of this video, you'll have a clear idea of what to expect from this MMORPG. Let's dive right into the game. First off, the visuals and ambiance in Throne and Liberty are stunning. The game pulls you into its world with rich landscapes and detailed environments that make you feel like you're part of something much larger. Whether you're walking through serene rolling hills, fighting strange creatures, or exploring snow-covered mountains, there's no shortage of beauty to look at. The environments feel alive, and there's a certain immersive quality to how each area blends together. But of course, no game is perfect. Some areas can feel dull or lifeless, especially compared to others. While most zones pull you into their atmosphere, some lack that same energy and seem a bit underwhelming. Overall, though, the world of Throne and Liberty still manages to provide a visually engaging experience that most players will appreciate. One of the things that stand out in Throne and Liberty is how seamlessly the different areas are connected. In many MMORPGs, it often feels like you're moving from one completely different zone to another with no sense of connection. But here, the transitions feel natural. Whether you're running through forests, across open fields, or up snowy mountains, it doesn't feel like you've suddenly switched to a whole new game. The world feels cohesive, which helps maintain that immersive experience. Now, let's talk about the in-game shop, something that can make or break an MMORPG. Throne and Liberty does offer items in its shop that can give players who spend money an advantage. This includes materials and resources that can be used to craft high-end gear, a pay-to-win currency that will be available for purchase. This currency can be used on the auction house to buy powerful items, giving wealthier players a huge advantage in both PvE and PvP content. This is one of the more frustrating aspects of the game. Since the endgame of Throne and Liberty is heavily focused on PvP, players who invest real money will likely dominate, creating an unfair playing field. If you're someone who enjoys competitive PvP, but doesn't want to spend extra cash, this could be a deal breaker. It takes away from the fairness and balance that many players look for in MMORPGs. Moving on to combat. Throne and Liberty shines when it comes to its combat system and animations. Each ability feels satisfying, and there's a good sense of impact when using them. Whether you're casting spells or swinging a sword, the game does a great job of making those actions feel engaging and responsive. The animations are bright and detailed, without becoming too over the top or blinding, so you won't lose track of what's going on during intense fights. The variety in classes is another highlight. Throne and Liberty doesn't lock you into a single class, which is refreshing. Instead, you can change your class by simply switching weapons. Want to play a mage? Equip a staff? Feel like playing a rogue? Switch to daggers. This flexibility allows you to adjust your playstyle based on the situation, whether you're tackling a tough dungeon or participating in a PvP battle. It's a nice touch that makes the game more dynamic, especially for players who enjoy experimenting with different roles. This weapon swap system also makes battles more strategic. If you're in a tough fight with enemies spread out across the battlefield, you can quickly switch to a ranged weapon to pick them off from a distance. This feature adds a layer of customization to combat without forcing you to completely change your character's build. Plus, since the abilities you unlock are tied to the weapon type, you can slowly learn how each class functions as you level up, making the learning curve more manageable. However, while combat does have its strengths, it does take some time to feel fully fleshed out. At the beginning, the controls might feel a bit clunky and battles can seem slow, but as you progress, things begin to click and combat becomes more satisfying. Pulling multiple enemies at once and using your skills strategically feels rewarding, and the flow of battle improves significantly as you get used to the game's mechanics. As for the storyline, it serves as more of an elongated tutorial. The dialogue is a bit clunky and won't blow you away, but the world is interesting enough to keep you invested. It's clear that Throne and Liberty is more focused on its gameplay than its narrative, which isn't necessarily a bad thing if you're someone who's primarily interested in combat and exploration. So, is Throne and Liberty worth playing? If you're a fan of MMORPGs and don't mind some pay-to-win elements, there's a lot to enjoy here. The immersive world, flexible class system, and fun combat could be enough to keep you hooked. But if you're looking for a completely fair PvP experience or a deep, engaging story, you might want to proceed with caution. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this review, and let us know what you think about Throne and Liberty in the comments below. See you next time.